Welcome back. It is the Flow Friday Sports Show here on Flow FM, and it's time to link up with our Hume netball correspondent, Carla Fletcher. Round one done and dusted, and some big results. Carla, good to bring you in. How did you enjoy round one, and how are you doing?
Yeah, no, all good over here. It was great to finally get back into it. It's just that little bit of a relief when that first whistle blows and everything kind of falls into place. So, yeah, there were some great matches around the league last weekend.
There were indeed. I'll tell you what, a lack of close matches, unfortunately. It seems as though everyone that got up in the A grade seemed to do it pretty comfortably. So let's start with Osborne. They had How Long, and we did call that it would be pretty hard for How Long to be competitive in this game. Didn't quite disgrace themselves, Carla, but Osborne really getting things going with a bang in the A grade.
Yeah, look, Osborne had a really big win to kick off their season. They were last year's premiers, and I think they must have just played a little bit more consistently than How Long. There's some new faces joining the Osborne list this year. They've got Bridie Willis and Cypress Clay, and they've also got Courtney Menzies returning to the club, and she won the Players' Player for Best on Court on the weekend, and Bridie Willis, their new player, she also won the award. And Sam Way from How Long, she played in goalkeeper, and she worked really hard on the weekend to stop Osborne's goal shooter Louise Madden, and Jess Lane, who dominated in the goals for her first game for How Long. So I think once they get their team together, I think they'll be very competitive this year, How Long. But, a great win by Osborne.
Just on Osborne, how desperate do you reckon Sally Hunter is to win it this year? Because we know how good they are, and we know that, they've got a great chance to get it done in 2023. So you'd assume they're all pretty fired up and keen to make sure that they do everything they can in their power to win the A grade in 2023, Carla.
Yeah, look, I think Sally's pretty focused, and she's really keen to show that, Osborne just didn't happen to win it last year. And it's a one-off thing. I think they'll be fighting really hard this year and making sure that they, show everyone that they're a power for the next few years anyway.
Well, one side that might be a bit of a dark horse this year is Culcairn. They had a great win over Henty, Carla, 57-32 in the end.
Yeah, look, even though Culcairn had a good win, Henty had a pretty positive start. But look, they just had to play catch-up netball for the rest of the game. They've got a few new players, and their coach, Kelsey, says it's going to take a couple of games, weeks for them all to settle down and work each other out. Jess Kane won the mug for Henty in goalkeeper, and she's just recently come up from B grade. And the Coach's Award went to Rachel Turlick, who worked really hard in goal defence. And look, it was a great win for Culcairn, and, they certainly are starting the season off where they finished last year, and their awards went to Emily Pinnock, Olivia Brunner and Kayla Wright.
Well, we spoke about Osborne and their chances in 2023. One side that's going to be the perennial nemesis again this year is Jindera. No doubt about that at all, Carla. They had a great win away to Holbrook. They're going to be difficult to beat this year, Jindera.
Yeah, look, as I said last week, they've got something to prove, and they'll be working hard this year. Jindera, they've got 3 new players that have been injected into their lineup for the season, and they made multiple changes on the weekend, and all their combinations are working well. So I think they've got a lot of depth and a lot of support from each other. Best on court went to Jess Husky, who came up from B grade, and she played in the mid-court, and Shana Holland in goalkeeper. She's just a solid defender, so she's great depth for Jindera. And Taylor Byrne and Claire Marriott won the awards for Holbrook.
Lockhart getting humbled at home against the Murray Magpies, 29-42. Just tell us how you see both these sides getting on this season, because you'd assume that both of these teams have, they've got it in them perhaps to finish sort of mid-table, Carla, but a bit of a discrepancy in this result.
Yeah, look, it was a pretty hard-fought game up until half-time. It was even. But look, the Magpies shooting consistency, they just gave them the upper hand. They shot beautifully from everywhere in the circle. And the best for the Magpies was Laura Kieran, and Hannah Azai, and Beck Matthews playing in the centre and wing attack for Lockhart, and Maddie Robertson, a new goal shooter. But look, I think both teams, they will be just settling in for the next few weeks. And, yeah, I think both of them will be fighting, to get into that top six.
Brocklesby Burrumbuttock Saints up against the Billabong Crows, and a real day out for the Crows, winning 52-27. A huge result for them, Carla.
Yeah, look, a new look Crows. They put together a great performance for their first game. The Saints girls started off really well, and they kept in touch with the Crows, but then the Crows just took over in the second half. Brooke Davies was best on with a really consistent game in goal defence, and their incentive award went to Holly Dowling, who had some great intercepts at wing defence. And look, the Saints are really pleased with their efforts. They've already improved from last year. They lost by 60 goals to the Crows, so they've done quite a good job this year so far. And their best on went to defenders Rachel Kazitsky and Courtney Campbell.
Giants getting it done in their game at Walla over CDHBU 51-35. Let us know how this one played out.
Yeah, look, it was a great start to the season from the Ramwell-Bundry Walla Giants, and they've got their first look. They've got a pretty new A-grade team. And both teams are adjusting to some new combinations, and there was a lot of strong defensive pressure down the court. CDHBU have some really exciting young players stepping up this season. But look, I think the Giants just made the most of their opportunities in attack and were able to build the lead across the four quarters. And Ebony Williams was pretty solid through the mid-court in her first game for the Giants. And Mel McLennan, who's really strong under the post, she converted 29 of their team's 51 goals. And award winners for CDHBU were Tamia Richardson, Beck Couchert and Chloe Gilchrist.
Looking ahead to this weekend's games, Carla, this one that's happening at the Oaklands Recreation Reserve is one I'm particularly looking forward to. The Billabong Crows at home to Osborne. This might not be an easy foregone conclusion for Osborne at all. They might find that they're up against it, given that Billabong Crows are coming into this with a fair amount of form on their side.
Yeah, look, and the Crows are really pleased with some of their passages of play last week. So they're hoping that will give them a little bit of a confidence as they come up against Osborne this weekend. So, look, it's going to be a very tightly contested game, but I think Osborne might just come away with the 4 points. But I think it'll be close up until the last quarter.
Well, Carla, I get the keys to a new house in a week's time, but I'm willing to bet on that house that there's no chance that the Burrumbuttock Saints are going to get up over Jindera. What are your thoughts?
Well, no, I do think your house might be safe, but look, I think Jindera will be just too strong. But look, you never know who's available on the weekend. But I think Jindera will be doing everything they can every week to put the wins on the board.
Yeah, I think it'll be a case of the Saints hoping for a respectable scoreline, with all due respect to them in that game, going off of round one form at least. CDHBU, they entertain Culcan. How do we see this one going? Culcan, you'd assume, go in as favourites, Carla?
Yeah, I think they will. But look, CDHBU, they've got a great weekend happening. They've got the opening of their new netball facilities, including showers, toilets and change rooms. Congratulations to the club for all their fundraising, and they obtained a grant to, get these new facilities going. And look, all the facilities around the league are definitely building and getting better, so it's a credit to all clubs. But look, I think Culcan, they're nice, quiet achievers, and they'll just go about their job on the weekend, and I think they'll take the point.
How long entertain Holbrook? Holbrook with that crushing defeat against the Jindera side last weekend, and how long we know that they were competitive at least against Osborne. So who goes in as favourites? I'd assume it's not Holbrook, but how do you see this one going?
No, I think how long will they'll bounce back this week and just play a little bit more consistency. They know what they've got to do. now. They've played Osborne and, they'll be working hard to get the 4 points on Saturday against Holbrook.
Well, as far as round one results go, with the indications we have, it looks like Henty and Lockhart might be making up the ground between cellar dweller possibilities in 2023. So this might be a bit of a dogfight at least, which neutrals can enjoy, Carla.
Yeah, look, it's always a highly contested game, Henty versus Lockhart. I mean, it doesn't really matter where they are on the ladder. It's just really hard fought. But I think Lockhart both teams will actually be looking forward to getting a win on the board. But I think depends on the shooting. And hopefully Lockhart come away with a win.
Finally, we've got the Giants travelling to Urana to play the Murray Magpies. I think this will be a pretty entertaining game considering round one results, Carla.
Magpies, they'll be wanting to continue their run from last weekend. Both teams have got some very consistent shooters, and I think they'll be the key to the game, and they'll consolidate any turnovers from their defenders. Magpies played really well last week. I watched them play, and I didn't see Ramble Buttonsbury Giants, but they had a good win too. So I think this game's going to be very close. You might bet your house on this one. I'm not sure.
Well, I don't want to do too many bets here, Carla, until I get the keys at least. Carla Fletcher, our correspondent out of the Hume netball A grade. It's great to catch up with you again, Carla. Enjoy the weekend of netball. We'll speak to you next week.
Thanks, Alice.